Happy Tuesday. We are in the book of Hosea. If you read the first few chapters yesterday, as I suggested, you sort of go to the middle of the book, Psalms, maybe Isaiah, Jeremiah, if you open the Bible to the middle of the book, but then you go right. So Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, those are mostly the major prophets, not exclusively. Lamentations isn't a major prophet, and Daniel gets often grouped with wisdom literature. But then when you get through those, then you hit the 12 minor prophets, and they start with Hosea. And these were books that were written, for the most part, 700 years before Christ was born, which means they were written about 200 years after Israel had divided. So it divides after Solomon, so unites under Saul a little bit, then really under David. It remains united under Solomon, and then it falls. Solomon dies, and the kingdom of Israel splits, northern and southern tribes. And the northern tribes are going to fall first to the Assyrians. And so this is written at a time when the north is still strong. So think the stock market is up. And it looks like things are going well, but these prophets, Hosea among them, is saying things are bad. The foundation is eroding. It is rotting from the inside. And so Hosea was a prophet living in the northern capital of Samaria. And we read in this book, we read his writings that sort of span 25 years. So the first 3 chapters gives us the history, and then after that we get a lot of his reflections and sermons and other things, poems over 25 years. And if you know anything about the book of Hosea, if you read these 3 chapters, then you know that in order to illustrate the relationship between God and the Jews, Hosea is to marry a prostitute, because that is the way the nation of Israel, the bride, is treating God the groom. And so Hosea chapter 1 verse 2 opens, "When the Lord began to speak through Hosea, the Lord said to him, 'Go marry a promiscuous woman and have children with her, for like an adulteress wife, this land is guilty of unfaithfulness to the Lord.' So Hosea married Gomer, daughter of Diblaim." So as you heard, her name was Gomer, and that's not the worst thing about her. Right after they get married, they conceive, and she gives birth to a son. She then gets pregnant 2 more times, and the second child is a girl, and the third is another boy. The names of the children, this is instructive here, the names of the second is Not Loved, and the name of the third is Not My People. So along with the fact that the text does not suggest that they are his children, everything seems to be unraveling pretty quickly. By the way, if you're looking for names, I would recommend against the book of Hosea. I think you can do better than Gomer, Not Loved, and Not My People. So it becomes obvious that Gomer is sleeping around. We can guess how Hosea finds out. He comes home one night, finds a note on the door. She is announced that she's leaving, and she didn't love him, and she wants her freedom, and the kids are his responsibility, and don't come looking for her. And by the way, the kids aren't actually his anyway. So you can imagine that night he tries to get the kids down, and then he asks the neighbor to watch them while he heads out to try and find out where she is and what's going on. And you can imagine the neighbors saying, don't go looking for her. You have no idea. She's not a good person. And then there's all the rumors. She's sleeping around, and there's that guy, and he's all busy getting in everybody else's face, telling them how to live their lives and what God thinks. And he can't even control his own family. And then so all this is set up because she's being promiscuous. You get the idea that he's out at night trying to find her, and then ends up finding her at the brothel or in the arms of some other man, and they have conversations, and he's trying to keep this going. And the idea here, the big idea here, this saga, this ugly soap opera is unfolding because God is trying to make the point. This is how you're treating me. He's trying to smuggle under their radar this idea that is horrific, and to get them to react that's wrong and horrific, and that Hosea should walk away, because he's trying to help them understand how the Jews, how we are treating him. So let that sink in. More tomorrow.